And I've noticed how much harder that is than just doing it here. But everybody starts somewhere. And so we start here with the idea that how do I then translate that into my life, into my relationships, into the challenges that I perceive. So, all right, everyone, it's 7:33. We have most of our group here. Good morning. We are here. Hi, hello there, Lydia. So good to see you. Not in the babies' rooms. No, mom gets a break. This is that, it looks like mom's space. It looks like the place you hide, probably. I'm in here. I remember those days well. Good to see you. Let me see who was else on. Dawn, good to see you. Dennis, good morning. Jeanette's on, good to see you. Lynn, good. Robin, good to see you too. It looks like Tom's on, or Peggy, or both. Not sure. Good to see you all. I don't know if you just heard what I said, so I'm going to repeat it in a sentence or two. We're going to talk about the habit of complaint and how much of what we end up saying, if we pay attention, falls into, I think, a couple categories. That is, in our consciousness, I notice it in mine, gratitude, celebration, honoring. I say things like, thank you so much. I see the good in you. I say, I appreciate that. That means something to, right? They just come out naturally in that oneness, we'll call it, in that consciousness that allows for you and me. We're in this together forever, right? Whether you're just a person walking by or whether I'm married to you, right? This is it. We're in this life together, and we will not be successful in transforming ourselves in the world if we don't remember that, right? If we don't know that, and it's not a belief, then is it? It's not a belief. It's not, well, I love the idea. It's I know the truth of this in these moments of clarity, or we call them awakening, right? Somebody could say enlightened moment, where we are all a part, essential part of each of our goodness, salvation, depending on your traditions, and transformation. So that every interaction ever made, ever, is a moment of awakening and a moment of transformation. Right? It is. The guy you never talk to, but's in that car over there. It's a moment, isn't it, of seeing the good, expressing the good, or the other. Like, aren't you? That moment of separation diminishes everything. I'll just say it's bigger, isn't it, than just you and me, because that transfers, doesn't it, to the next stoplight, the next stop sign, and by the way, the next person, doesn't it? That very goes with you in that heart mind, and that default results in harm. Harm to who? Well, first, harm to you, because you're not your bright light, right, clear minded, open-hearted, recognizing the truth of our forever interconnectedness at all. We've lost touch in that moment with that in each of us. By the way, here's a truth. I don't like this one, but I recognize it. The moment you fall, the suffering is yours. Right? The moment you fall into the concepts of you versus me, us versus them, the Republicans versus the Democrats, the good guys versus the bad guys, the Trumpers versus the Biden, I don't know what they say about him. Right. The minute we do that, our suffering is guaranteed, isn't it? And then we go, how did we get in this world? Good morning. Good to see you. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? That moment of unconsciousness is the cause of our suffering. In some traditions, they call that ignorance. Right? And isn't it? It's ignorant of the most essential reality, isn't it? The essential truth, the essential oneness, connectedness, interconnectedness of everything. And so then we fall for a time, and we almost always fall someone who'll go with us. I notice. I almost always make my complaints to people who are going to go, I know, right? That was stupid. That's dumb. They were wrong. This is bad. Right, jump right in there with me, and off we go together, right into the hell realm, right, and support each other. Instead of what's our practice as community? Yes, we recognize pain. Yes, this is hurting. Yes, this is scary. Yes, this is hard. And I'm here. I'm here. I'm here to hold you in that pain. We don't even have to go off diminishing the actions of that person in the right at all. And in fact, we'll be like a buoy and a bright light in a dark sky if we can not just fall into with. Where I notice this happens a lot is in politics. Right, as one. We could say religion might even be another one, or belief systems. I guess belief systems, right? Like I just believe this, and now you don't. I've got the evidence you don't believe that, and now we are no longer connected. You are now a threat, a danger, a challenge. You're stupid, or right, and then we gather around others who do it with us. And I'm going to call on all of us not to do it. I am. Whatever your perspective, just keep in mind it's limited. It's guaranteed. Your limited view is limited because by your humanness, you can only see this way. We do a lot of that, right? And imperfect. And imperfect. And if we remember that, then the complaint, becomes just an opportunity, which I love. I love when I'm just getting ready to go, do you just believe that? And go, wait a minute. I want to be that which supports, right? Elevates, transforms the moment. And so do you. I know that. How do I know? You're here. I know it. You want to be that goes, rather than fall in with the kind of ease that our brainstem is capable of. You want to. And what does that mean? Well, we have to do this first. I've noticed. For me, I have to ground into that centeredness in me. I have to open then into the centeredness of it all. And then I walk about my day with at least some kind of map for that being, some kind, because otherwise these are great ideas. They've been talked about throughout time, and we never become them. We never become them fully. And that's the transformation, is the actual beingness of that goodness that we know and see. And so we're going to look a little bit today at our own complaint. I'm going to ask you to recollect it and to see where could I see more clearly it with this bright light of awareness. And what actually could I have done? What would have been an option instead of go, they're just stupid. That's dumb. That thinking is ridiculous. Even when you say it to yourself, it's suffering. Okay, so we're going to begin. Thank you all. So we're going to first, as is required, we're going to, I didn't get my charger. Let's see how we do. If I go offline for a minute, that's because I've got to grab my cord. The very first anchor, they say, to the present moment is the turning of the attention from all that is external, colors and sounds and sights and perceptions out there, is to rotate that attention towards the body. And that's a very large action, actually. And what's so big about it is that it has to be done with intention. Otherwise, we just stay that way, right? That's happening. You're this, that color, right? We stay externally. We're really turning in and towards. And so we use the body itself, this beautiful sensory mechanism. And touch into the body then wherever that works for you. And now, for me, it's just an automatic. I go to the seat or the feet for grounding for me. Every once in a while, my hands. For some people, they draw towards the whole envelope of skin, resting in the sense of the body as a whole. Just want you to take a moment and see where those anchors are for you. You can sweep the breath through the body from head to toe or the reverse. You can touch into a smaller parts of the body, doing a little progressive body scan. See which offers you two things. Once is an object, the body as a whole or in its parts, that actually feels drawing. It calls you home, calls you into body being. For a lot of people, the feet, for example, find beginning, but it actually is not a useful final anchor. It's too far from the center being, from the heart, belly, the vagal systems, right? Resting in the feet can become difficult, for example, for some people. And if you're a trauma survivor, for some people, the feet is the only place to begin to touch in because the rest is so activated. So there's no one right way at all. And so then rather than feel the body, that's the first instruction, the felt sense of the body sitting here, we're going to let the body breathe and begin to refine our attention towards the awareness of breath. And we're going to sit back a little, release the shoulders, the hands, settle in a bit. Where are you most present, connected to this experience of the breath? And you get to play a little bit with that. I started in the belly. That's a common centering area for me, and it wasn't there this morning. And I moved up a little bit and could really feel its vibration in the heart space. And so I'm just going to rest there. Connecting to our own bodies, to our own breath, essential connection. Inviting that oneness, that wholeness. And its sense, not a thought about. We let go of that. And right here, right in this very breath, we are actually cultivating this unconditional quality of bodhicitta that we're going to keep talking about. The awakened heart mind right here. And for many of us, there may, of course, in addition to the reality of that wholeness, that connectedness, there is also the habit mind that we begin to recognize. This is such good news. The habit mind of complaint, of preference. Not like this, how come this sounds like that, body like this, longer breath, wanting and not wanting are the mothers of complaint. Why can't my mind just stay? Too hot, too cold. And in its recognition, we are awakened. This is the path that uses everything. So don't go off into the story of if only I could something, this would all be working out better. We smile at the recognition. And we open. To the in breath and the out breath. as the mind stabilizes and becomes steady, we begin to notice those little attachments and aversions, those little self-claiming habits. We let go over and over of being more the thinker, the breather, the feeler for that which is aware. And this is happening naturally by this very breath awareness. We see that there is no complainer, like there is no breather, no thinker. And we begin to recognize some quality of mind, that attached or that rejecting quality that actually has a script. And in the recognition, that's where the smile comes. It's, I can be kind here. I can go, yes, I remember the wanting, not wanting, clinging, and rejecting nature of this thinking mind. But the response is always then friendly. And it begins by simply bringing space and room right with the very breath. And in this way, we begin to remember who we really are. I am not that thought. I'm not that complaint. I'm not even that preference. Those are just conditions. We recognize them. We release from the storyline. I am this, this is that. We come back to the open spaciousness and the gentle flow and movement, the kindness of the breath itself. Back to oneness, back to wholeness, which is the only nature of that bright light of awareness, that boundless quality of inclusion, of kindness. That's all it's got. It's its only characteristics. With each breath, we unhook from those small identities. From all those falsely believed thoughts. I am not this thought. I am not this thinker. Then there is nothing to defend, no stands to take. And the transformation is right here in the recognition. The liberation occurs again and again as we see the defaults into judgments, opinions, limited perspective. And we can feel its tight spots, its claustrophobia, the smallness, the tightness. And rather than just fall in, we open. We rest back. Right back into that vast open space. Awareness itself, our true nature. So we release the tight grip of the body-mind a little bit more. And then I'd like you to recollect from this wholeheartedness, from this unconditional bodhicitta, I'd like you to recollect your problem, your complaint, the judgment you brought to yourself or to another, that sense of separation, aloneness, the disconnect. And we're going to invite it right into that bright light, that open space of awareness, filled with that wholeness, that oneness, that kindness, that love, that goodness. We're going to look at the situation and see what we see. Where did the habit mind fall, take over? What was it we were wanting and not wanting? And from this clear view, from this open heart, what can you see now that you couldn't see from that limited view? Can you see the blaming, the judgment, the fear? What contributed to that sense of separation? It's actually a delusion. Did that fearing or pained mind construct the other? The enemy, the them, the you? And if each of these moments is the gem, is the moment of awakening, what is it here to teach you? What is it here to allow you to see in your own vulnerability, in your own humanness? Including that wanting and not wanting. Often we want others to be different because we need to be different. We want others to be kind because we need kindness. And so, from this clear view and this unconditional open heart, what is it you need to offer yourself? Often it is a recognition of our own vulnerability, our own fear, our own pain, our own weariness, and wishing that someone else would fix that. But this is a moment of awakening. What I see, I can offer myself. And then the complaint itself becomes the moment of transformation. The suffering itself is the portal to the path. We don't condemn, we don't judge, we don't blame, we move closer. And we must begin with ourselves. And from this moment of awakening, we can then offer from that place of compassion. It's an actionable offer, whatever is needed. And that comes naturally, like, wow, I just need some more space. I need some time. I need rest. I need connection. I need time in nature. I need practice, whatever those nutriments. And we cement our commitment to that compassionate action, to that care and love. We cement them with the phrases of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. We commit to that offering with those phrases. May I be happy. truly happy. May I be free from this affliction and all the causes of suffering. May I recognize the infinite blessings available in this precious human life. And may I be glad, take delight, and offer all that goodness to others. And may I commit myself each day, every day, for some amount of time to rest in this beautiful, vast, open space. Cultivating these qualities of wisdom, love, compassion, and equanimity. Transforming myself and the world. Breath by breath. Just like this. See how the perspective is altered, how the clarity and the open-heartedness invites that open space for clear seeing and action. And may this practice this very morning, may it contribute. Move in any way that feels good for you. Thought I had happy husband drop that off. That's so nice. Iced coffee. Cheers. You can actually drink it. No one can get over it. It's not my habit. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to check. Oh, I'm pretty good on battery. That's great. So here we are. I think it looks like Libby might even be on. Happy birthday. Libby's in Big Bear.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a view? Can you show it? Sitting up in the mountains there, right?
I'm still in bed, so let's see.
You're still in bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's is good too. That's good too. It's not.
Oh, wait,
That is good.
I can't get it to it. There we go. Can
There
you see?
it is. There's yeah. Yeah. Big Bear is a place I've actually only been once, and I've heard it's fabulous.
It's
Hope
lovely.
to get- Wonderful. Hope to get back there. You're
Yeah.
probably thinking you want to move there or something.
Yes, oh, of course.
So, yeah, don't do that. Come home. Come home anyway. Good to see you. So, so where do you notice it? Where do you notice the shutting down, the turning into a kind of that small mind, the one that goes, no, I do this a lot of knowing, or the other kind. I don't like this. I don't want this. This is a problem. Shouldn't be happening. And then really what's most interesting to me is how do we use it? Because this is actually the point of the whole path. It says this too is actually the perfect moment. The one you didn't want, the one you didn't like, the one you were shutting down in, the one you did, right? That's the one. Not all those other juicy, wow, fabulous, generic Kachina with Libby and right. They're wonderful and they're nourishing and they're important, but they're not the path. The path is the very one where I don't want to. The very one where I don't have it, whatever it takes, lacking that, because I just want out of here. I just want to go some other way. I want to get some other husband. Could somebody just help me? I want a different body. I want a different neighborhood, right? I want a different kid. And that's not the way. And in fact, it's guaranteed. It's like, no, that's actually never going to be the path. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Yeah, no one ever likes that. No one ever like, really? Really? But did you meet him? Really? Because you don't know. Yeah. Yes, the answer is yes. Right? So what did you notice about your complaint? What did you notice about the problem you're making?
I had so many.
I had so many, says Leah. That's one of them. If only, I love that line. And isn't it fair? I love the bargainer in me because I go, isn't it reasonable, really? Isn't this fair? That if I'm willing to be kind, the other person would do it too. If I really worked hard to say it correctly, they would really appreciate that and get it. If I said, no, really, this was essential to the well-being of the larger community, even though I couldn't tell you that, no. The answer is that's right. Now, it doesn't mean it's not correct, does it? It also means you may not get applause. That egoic self may not be the one that gets to prance around going, look at me. Look how well that went. And it doesn't mean it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't mean it's not transformative. Because in fact it is. Right there. It is transformative right there. That you didn't collapse right back into, I just want it another way, which is how do I open to this, breathe this, be with this, and even in that, acknowledging my own distress. I think we often have to begin there in a way that we don't. We go right back out for solution finding and changing that and making that better. And if only they understood them, there's the them, right? Something. No, actually, no, it's not true. Nobody else needs to understand anything. You do. What do you need to understand? They're where they are. They can see that. I know for myself, when I'm in fear, pain, helplessness, whatever it is that I don't see very well. With all these years of practice, if I don't acknowledge my own pain, my own fear, and that's often the beginning, isn't it? This is a moment of suffering. This is a moment of fear. This is a moment of distress. Let me offer something first, then to myself. Well, you already did, didn't you? Right, that you already did it. The minute you allow, it's already there. And then you can just, right? As Thich Nhat Hanh says, then just sweetheart, right? I am here with you. And we don't do it, do we? You see that outward pointing mind? That's got to be different. You've got to be different. The yard's got to be different. The dog's got to be different. They've got to get it. It's one of my favorites. As a therapist, I use that a lot. They've got to be. If only they understood, then that would get that. Yeah, nope. Not as long as I'm into what? What's that really? Which is you've got to be different so I can be okay. Now that's desperate, isn't it? Because it's not ever going to happen that way. If you could only be different, if you could only, and I don't, the yous are, again, right from tiny little interpersonal interactions to what? The gigantic systems, right? So now if only the FBI were better, if only the Justice Department could see it clearly, if only that president, now the other guy, if only we could all, nothing. Transformation does not begin there, does it? And we notice a lot of frustration, I think, don't we? Which is, wow, those systems are so big. How in the world are we ever going to get that right? Well, how are you going to, right here, by not looking to something, someone else, you do that. This thing in me called just, this thing in me called fair, this thing in me called kind or generous or patient or clear seeing or loving, right there. And the part I do know this, I forget, but I know it, is that it changes, it transforms the whole of the world. That one moment, I do know this, I have felt it. And I forget. Crazy, right? It's crazy. How do you forget that? And I come back and then I remember and I ground back and I go, right. And then I feel better. And then I did, and then right next month, gone. Right. And don't we all? And so what do you know about this? Right? Any moment that we're going that, them, this, the couch, the chair, the kid, the dog, you're lost. You're lost. I'm lost. Can we use the very suffering as the moment of awakening? Yes. And then I smile. Leslie and I got together. She was here in Encinitas, and we were talking about how we laugh out loud. Right? You literally go, ah! There it was. Right? As a real, true, genuine laughter. Not laughing at, but like, yeah, there it is again. The wanting, wishing, hoping for something out there to be different. For me to finally inhabit my life? Who's waiting? Uh-oh. Right? Uh-oh. And Carrie works with this all the time, right? Because now people are in the final stretch. They're in the last moment. And they're going, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Right? It's not good timing. You want to do it now in these little moments, right? And there'll be billions, and it's okay. That's not the problem. They're each that awakening bell for, can I see the closure in me, the contraction in me, the right in me? And with kindness, not with just, see, they're stupid and now I'm stupid, which, by the way, is the second bad habit. Right? The first is the projection, you're the problem. The second is, okay, if you're not the problem, I must be. We turn it right back around. Or the other, okay, I'm not the problem, now it's you. You're getting the idea. And what an opportunity. So it says, I want to be on vacation again. This is one of our problems. Isn't it? One of our problems, like somewhere else. What was there? What was there in you that's right here? Really? Well, maybe more spaciousness, maybe a gentleness, maybe creating more of that for yourself, maybe not being so demanding and going, now I've just got to go right back into the, right? Maybe that's what was in the vacation that you need to find in your everyday life. Right? Maybe a better boundary around that, maybe more help around that, right? There is nowhere else to be. Sorry to say.
When you talk
I noticed, oh, go ahead, Robin.
When you talk about boundaries, that is sort of what connected for me right now, because being on vacation, there were not the present moment of others that had been impacting me.
Yes. And then you could breathe. Yeah.
And so then you kind of come back to it and you're like, whoa, you know, like, how do I create that space? And that's difficult. I don't know.
Yeah.
for some of it.
I don't know if you're going to know.
Yeah.
I think you've got to know what you can know, right? Don't wait and say, what I can know is there's a boundary here that needs to get set up because I'm depleted, exhausted, or pissed when I'm here. Well, that's good. And how am I going to do it, or where am I going to start? I don't know. I don't know myself. I just keep looking then through the lens of that, called, where are boundaries possible, right? So for me, it was, wait a minute, I'm not going to work 5 days anymore. I'm going to work 3. Wait a minute, I'm not going to work after 4 anymore. Wait a minute, I'm going to make Sunday a family day. Wait a minute, it happened one moment, one clear seeing at a time. I don't know which one was the right one, or it's the one I could see that I could begin with. And by the way, wasn't perfect then either, but right, it's ever available. You keep working towards it. I know it's goodness. I know it's right.
For me, it's not opening a conversation with someone who, not opening a conversation with someone who I know is.
Can't have one.
Say that again?
Can't have one.
Yeah, just don't open a conversation with someone who cannot have a conversation. Exactly. Exactly.
Wouldn't it be true? That wouldn't be very skillful, wise, or loving.
But
to
I keep
either of
doing
you.
it.
Because now you're demanding someone who very well may have zero capacity to do it. Well, whose problem is that?
Yeah.
You may have zero potential for an actual dialogue about whatever, for their pain reasons, for their confusion, for their, right? And yet, what do we demand? No, you've got to do this my way, see this my way, resolve this my way, called dialogue. Okay, not always, sometimes not often. Like never gonna happen that way. It's just gonna happen when you go, no, no, there is no more come to the house at 3 a.m. and I'm making stuff up, right? And crashing on the couch because you're loaded. Nope, no more of that. Well, there's probably not going to be a conversation about that. And the person's probably not going to go, I see the good in you. I see the good. Yeah, you get this. Go ahead, Leah.
Well, sometimes the boundaries, I just spent 4 days with my brother who, we're, we love a lot of things that are similar. That's kind of, and of course, with parents, but,
Yeah.
we were supposed to, he told me we were going to go sailing the entire time that we were there up in the San Juan. So when I got there, he goes, oh, my boat's not ready. And I don't know, so what do you want to do? I was like, I thought we were going to go sailing for 4 days. I didn't say it that way, but so I think one of the things the theme of it is, one of the things that I've been working on is kind of like just stepping into those conversations. Like when I don't feel like, because, usually I would just sit back and go, okay, well, whatever you want to do, I won't say anything. Don't put it out there,
Right.
So, I kind of looked around and it was up in Port Angeles. I mean, it's a beautiful place, right? And so he was kind of worried about taking his boat out. So we decided to like, okay, we'll take it out one day and we'll go to the we'll go up to National Park, Olympic National Park right there. It's gorgeous. And he is, if he sees somebody with a Trump shirt, he's like, yeah, Trump, he's like, he's listening to his pundit radio, we're on a sailboat, we're on a small sailboat, him and I. And he's just, loading his gun, so he does all the things that he knows are going to be like, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like in a pretty good zone. Like, all right, no, it's okay. I love you. So we're driving up, we go to Crescent Lake, which I don't know if you've ever been, is the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful lakes ever.
No. Crescent Lake, make sure you check it out.
Glacial waters. So I drive back and get our suits. We're driving back, Joe's back. He goes, this is God's country. And so we drive back and he had, my brother drinks Coors Lights like it's just water bottles, right? So he's always got his Coors Light in his cooler he takes. Into this guy's like a character. So on the way out, he puts the window down and he crushes the can and he drops it right out the car. I thought it was just going to explode into like a volcano of ash. And I was, but I kind of got myself under control. Like God's country needs a Coors Light. But then I think my point is that I started, and especially today, I started to think about, because what he said, he goes, well, I was worried, that maybe I was going to get stopped. And so I wanted to put the can outside. Wow. He had a reason, right? He had this reason for these things. And there's a top 5 list that if you're interested, obviously I can give you the experience with my brother. Him telling me a bunch of people in the bar that, hey, my sister's gay. That was another top 10. And he was, I was like, wow,
Decide to share
that's
that.
cool. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Good to know. Good to know.
So I just feel like that the boundary, and I was like, how am I going to speak that? Do I tell him like, that's not, it's not something you have to do or you have to say, because that was about him, or I don't know what it was about. But I do think that there is a way to have, you have to find that space if you want to keep relationships, I guess. So
Yes.
that even though those are differences and you can make your blood boil, and I think there are people who can't be around people like that. They just can't handle
Sure.
it.
That's
they're
right.
just going to explode.
And it might be best for them not to.
Yeah,
be,
and to
right.
me, but I just feel like sometimes it's okay to take that breath and then see there is a reality that he sees.
Yep.
That's his.
That's right.
And I can't really understand it, but I love him. So,
Yeah. And you have a different one,
oh yeah, the Coors Light can. Wow,
which
that
is probably as limited. This
Absolutely.
is the ownership, right? We go, wait a minute. If I have my angle, my side, my perspective, well, by its nature, it's also limited. Doesn't mean you don't get to have it.
yeah, but you have to think about that. You have to
Yeah.
push past that.
Yeah.
And go, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. Whenever I get triggered, I usually know I'm triggered because of my limited view. By its nature.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not that. I've already done it, because then when you said it, I went, "Ah,
But
not
the grip's
that."
hard to let. The grip is hard to.
Yeah, I don't think we let go of the grip, so let's forget it. I don't actually think it works. I think we drop right into it. I think we go in there, we hold it close, we sing songs to that group.
Recognize with them if you do something.
That's right. And that's where the work is. So if you have complaint, it's your signal that you've taken it and put it out there. Now, it doesn't mean you don't set boundaries. It doesn't mean you don't say you can't come to the house anymore at 3 o'clock loaded. Right? This is not the problem. The problem is you made it a problem. Otherwise, it's just a boundary. And you get to go with clarity. We can't do it like this anymore. Because that's not most true, right? Given not my limited view at all, not my limited view, but my wholeness, the view of my wholeness says that this isn't good for anybody, right? And then you act from that. That's right. Whatever boundaries come will come, actually. But it's not a boundary against another. It's a boundary in behalf of everyone. I can do this, you can do, right? Then we, I'm going to use Leanne's example, if you go on vacation with your bathing suit thinking you're spending 4 days in the water, and you realize that the others have all planned a desert excursion, you go, whoops, wait a minute, let me, right? Not a
Yeah.
problem. It's not a problem. So either is there something in me that can, or do I go? I get on the bus and I head over to what, right? There's no one way. There's just no separation. There's just no disconnect. There's just no not knowing that in oneself, which is our guide, isn't it? It's our guide. And we recognize them as opportunities, not as problems.
But it's like the vacation example. You know, you
That's right.
find your space or
Yeah,
the air with the good things.
whatever that
we
is
have.
for us, right? And different things for different people at different times, and us, right? Somebody said, I noticed the deeper I went, the more stuff kept coming up. Well, that means there's usually a lot there being held in the body mind. So that's wonderful recognition. And you don't have to try to take them all on at once, because I don't know if the wisdom is there. I don't know if we change everything, right? Even when we can name it, recognize it. I think it's sort of like, okay, you know, a little path for, and now today I have a time, energy, resource, and enough wholeness for this. Just, and maybe it's that one piece. Maybe it's that one piece. Libby says, thank you. Oh, Libby, you wrote something. There you go. Thank you, Robin. Nature encourages building my muscle for present moment awareness. Yes, it does. And it's tricky business, isn't it? It's tricky business because we can't stay out just in, we use that in that beautiful way. And then we get in the crowded room, don't we? We get in the workplace that's filled with toxicity or animosity or confusion. Right? And so how do we bring it with us? You do have to really every day remember with the practice. And I don't know how many of you are thinking, if I just take the walk in the woods, it's going to hold it up for me, because I will tell you solidly it is not. And will it contribute? Yes. Yes, it will. But you have to touch into that every day. You have to remember the spaciousness, the beauty, the preciousness, the oneness every day. And I've noticed, I don't know about you, that 60 breaths is the tip of the iceberg. Right? Otherwise, we just have to keep escaping. We need another vacation right now. Sometimes things do need to be different. That will be for you in your transformation by the nature of clear seeing to affect. It will be different by your seeing more clearly. It can't, how could it be the same? How could it be the same? I mean it. If you see clearly what's happening and its causes and conditions, how could that possibly play the same? It doesn't mean the person doesn't show up drunk. I'm just using that as an example. Thinking of someone. right? That's not what it means. What does it mean? I don't have the same relationship to that. I'm not going to be responding in the same way. I'm not going to go into codependent behaviors or shutdowns or rage or whatever else I might, because I see clearly, wait a minute, this is interconnected. How I am, so it shall be. What about that? As I am, so it shall be. I've been saying that to myself a lot.
So that I was really struck by the practice was that moment of transformation. I felt that was seeing the like little small storyline and then turning towards the suffering that was there for myself, and like really feeling that like
Yes,
it all came down.
yes,
But then there was just this like spaciousness around it.
yes.
And this new voice was there that was just very clear and direct that it was, I need this. And it was
Yes.
specific, like there was like, oh,
It's right there,
it was right there.
isn't it? It is right there.
And it's a small thing, but it's a step.
It's transformative.
Yeah.
Let's be careful. It is not small. It may be a simple solution, but it's transformative. It really is. And it's not the new you. It's the you that's always here.
Just hidden under all those
New now,
layers.
right? Because like, whoop, bing, there it is.
It's amazing how long that can take.
It's amazing how fast it can also be, because guess what? Just this moment, right? You are different now, just this moment, whoosh, transformed. Whatever else. Now, by the way, does that mean the other transformed? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Do they still show up drunk every Thursday? Yeah, maybe. Doesn't matter. That's not the definition of transformation. It's not, because then the other's different. Is it? No. It's you are relating to that with, what did Taryn just say? Space, recognition, holding, presence. It's all different. And then what comes? Wink, little thing called, okay, getting the nanny one more day. I'm right, whatever. I'm locking the door and not going to answer no matter what. Okay. Doesn't really. I don't think that's where the real changes. The thing you do is just a little manifestation of a much bigger thing, right? Let's not minimize it. The little thing is whatever that is not. It's just one little moment of that bigger thing called that transformation into awakening. I am different, and so will act differently. Dennis says, how strong and resilient do I need to be? As strong and resilient as life will ask of you, right? As life will ask of you. As the moment, Joko, my teacher, used to say, strength is doing what needs to be done with clarity and wholeheartedness in the moment. That's it. That's it. Just doing what needs to be done. Well, seeing that clearly is our path. Can I open to both my vulnerability, maybe the others, and the circumstance? And can we affect a transformation? And then ultimately the change is already there, whatever you're doing. Shivam says, so powerful today. A snarky comment from Steve caused a snarky response from me. I'm famous for these, so I do understand. Seeing now, I didn't want to feel the vulnerability of not being seen and heard. Yes. So I was defensive too. Yes. And also doesn't mean we have to be doormats and let people run over us either. But from this space, a different conversation will occur from the heart and vulnerability, not defensive. Makes sense completely. Don't we all understand that? Don't we all understand? Nobody starts snarky. They end snarky, right? Nobody. It's from vulnerability. It's from injury. It's from perceptions of pain or injury or fear that we all can be snarky. And then when we recognize it ourselves, just like Shivam did, what do we see in the other? Oh, your vulnerability. That's where that came from, because that's where it came from in me. Oh. And then something, as Taryn said, opens and gets more spacious. It doesn't mean that people get to slap you around. That's not what I'm saying. It's not passive. This perception often, I think, about the path is somehow we just let it all happen and somehow are passive participants. It's the opposite. You are the power. You are the light. You are the action. The opposite of that. To be with oneself deep in the forest or out on the oceans reminds us of who we really are. That is true. Recognizing the boundaries and going beyond. Yes, we're always doing that. Little moments that then equal, right, big, real inner changes. Well, I'm watching a hawk waiting for a bird to come to one of my lovely. All the birds are gone for a moment. For a moment. All right, do we know the practice then? Watching for these habit moments, right? I don't want that. I didn't feel like that. Why couldn't they just? How comes? Use that very opportunity. Use it as the bell of awakening. Catch it, bring it back, pause, come back into the body. You're probably going to need 20 breaths there, by the way, because you've already been activated. You're already limited by that very car. And if you don't think so, be careful, because what the body does, the mind is doing also. That contractedness equals, I can't see now more clearly. I cannot see. You're going to need at least 20 breaths to just settle, stabilize, and open back up. How many ever you need, get those. Get that number. And then from that clear place of clarity, open-heartedness, you can say, okay, I saw the person's pain and suffering. I don't have to let that propagate. That's not required. In fact, it won't help anyone. And so how can I then relate first in that open space and then act skillfully? Doesn't mean we don't set limits, but we do so how? Lovingly. Out of my care for me and you. We'll act perfectly, whatever that is. All right, I think we have the idea. It's good to see you all. Let's sit for just a minute together. We're going to close. Thank you all for those beautiful comments and all that clarity. We're all needing each other on this path. This is one of the essentials. Each voice, a beautiful facet in the diamond, offering clarity, wisdom, and wholeheartedness. So we're going to rest in that beautiful embrace of the Sangha. The Dharma being revealed by every voice. And as we have offered the blessings to ourselves in our turning towards connectedness, wholeness, that clear seeing, wholeheartedness, we also then offer those very things to others and all beings, including those with whom we have challenge, those who we cannot see clearly. One of the things I've been saying to myself is, where is the Buddha in that person right now? And what is it in me that cannot see it? May we all have happiness, true abiding happiness, and the causes for happiness. May we all be free from fear, from pain, from our old conditioned afflictions. May we see them and see the path to their end. May we rest in the goodness all around, beginning with the earth itself, the skies, the waters, the sun, the air. May we make contact and breathe it in. And then may we rest every day, every single day, for some amount of time in those infinite arms of wisdom and compassion, awakening all beings and changing the world. Thank you all for your practice this day. So be it. All right, everyone. I will be going into retreat at Quest Haven on Monday. You may join from 9 to noonish or from 2 to 5-ish. And if you do, just know that Quest Haven is requesting $10. We'll have a box there for that $10 for that. They are charging a day fee now to everyone. And I understand they're trying to stay alive and support their space and community. And we want to be contributors to that. That is not to me. That is directly to Quest Haven. So please join. There's no RSVP required. I will be in El Deseo, the third left. And anytime you can come, just know you're welcome to do that. You're a support to me during that time. I think Greg is got us covered for Tuesday and Thursday. I don't remember who's Saturday. Don't know if that's the third. Somebody. There'll be somebody on Zoom. The following Saturday would be like the 10th, and we will be back here. We will be back in the garden on the 10th. Carrie is assuring me that the numbers are not going up right now. And we'll just keep doing what we need to do. And then on the 17th, there'll be a mindful all day at Quest Haven. And so please go to sign up for that. It is the 17th, not the 10th. Yes, we said that 5 times, different days, because Quest Haven was sorting some space stuff. But it is the 17th, and that's from 9 to 4:30. And you can come for half or a whole day, either side, whatever works for you. So lots of opportunities for practice. Yes, we all need it. And so I'll look forward to seeing you whenever that works. Be well, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So welcome. Blessings to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to have you all here again. Hello there, everyone. You guys have a good weekend. Be safe next weekend. Heard there are going to be more cars on the road than ever. I'm not sure. I guess people are traveling by car right now. Lots. So yeah, there's a lot going on out there on the road. So just be careful. All right, everyone.
Tuesday practice in person.
No, it's always Zoom so far.
That's what I thought I got from that email. I
Yes.
just wanted to sort it out.
Yes, it used to be a Soul of
I
Yoga,
know.
and it
So miss
isn't.
it.
I don't think we'll go back till Tuesdays.
Oh,
probably anytime soon. Do you think, Carrie?
So Tuesdays, what classes?
Tuesday morning sittings. We used to do those live.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think so.
I think they're doing all of it
Thanks.
virtual over there.
It's a 35 foot.
I
You'll
don't
let
think,
us
I
know
don't,
when
it won't,
those
it won't probably look, yeah, but Saturdays, we're gonna try to see if we can't get some connects on Saturdays.
Is there other? another-
Terry,